to what happened with the Fed recently. So, right, Jerome Powell, for the first time since March 2020, Feds dropped the rates by a half a point. Now, for some people, the average person may think, great, interest rates are now coming down half a point. But what most people don't know is that banks have already been preparing for this half a point rate drop. So that our interest rates really didn't drop that much after that announcement. Banks have already factored that in. So if you were a buyer waiting on the sideline, waiting for interest rates to drop to get into it, great. Now you have that opportunity to show, hey, look, the Fed just came out and dropped the rate. But if you're know your stats and know your market, you're actually already preparing your clients saying, hey, we need to get ahead of this because people are always waiting for this announcement, but the pricing is already there. So you take advantage of it now, or if you haven't already started to get lower interest rates, get the buy downs, because elections coming around, there probably will be one more rate drop coming within the near future, probably within the next couple months.
Love that.
That's on the national level.
Love it. Anything else you want to add?
Keep doing your contacts, especially right now during the slow season of real estate. For us, it's positioning ourselves for 2025. All the work that we're going to reap the benefits from starts today. So I'm already being very proactive with my past clients and asking them, hey, what's their plans for 2025? How's the house? Is it working? Do we need something bigger, something smaller? Just so that way we can get ahead of the curve. Because once January rolls around, that's when everybody decides to start making moves. But really, the conversation starts today.
Love that. Love it. All right, team. So that's important for you guys to know. It's contact sport. I sound like a broken record when I say this, but I want to make sure that I'm being, boisterous about this and as loud as possible. It's never the best realtor or agent or team leader or broker that wins in the marketplace. It isn't. It's the best known broker, team leader, realtor, agent in the marketplace that wins. I mean, look at some of these newer agents that are just crushing it on social media, and they're selling so many houses because they're bold on social media. They're making sure that their consumer knows they're in the real estate space. We have to have a systematic approach to approaching our past clients, our sphere of influence, our family and our friends, a way where we're bringing value to the relationship. And on Mark's point, making sure that we're staying in contact with everyone, one thing that's important to do is that when you come from a place of value, when you want to genuinely help someone, that whole feeling of like that ick of feeling like you're bothering someone or you're contacting them for no reason goes away. But it only goes away when you come from a place of compassion and a true place of integrity where you want to just offer value to the relationship with nothing in return. The moment we start to feel ick or disgusted by reaching out to people, by sending out an email, by calling them, letting them know that we're in the real estate space, is when we're expecting something in return. Because there's something deep rooted in our subconscious that knows we want something from the relationship. And that knowing something turns into a feeling. That feeling then turns into an action. And then you're not able to boldly move forward. So I'm going to say it a little differently. Stop wanting something from everyone that you're giving something to. Lead from a place of just giving value. And when you give enough value in the marketplace, value will start to come, will start to turn around. Give stuff selflessly. Mark, that was amazing, brother. Thank you for the economic update on that. And Rosalind, let's jump over to you. I think it's a smooth transition to talk about interest rates. Where are we with the market? Talk to us about loan products and interest rates.
Yeah, so perfect. Thank you, Mark, for actually, talking about the rate drop, because yes, that's what everybody assumes, right? A half point, that's 0.5%, so it's going to be great. But yes, there wasn't that huge difference as far as the interest rates from last week to now. They are continuing to drop just in the whole month of September, right? And late August. So they have been dropping, which is exciting news, right? So a lot of the clients, that's one of the roadblocks where they're like, well, the interest rate's too high, my payment's too high. Or let's say, for example, if they're trying to upgrade from a smaller home to a bigger home, they don't want to do it because they're going to be paying double, right? So even though that's not exactly the truth, it's still a topic to get them excited, right? Because they're seeing it everywhere in the news, online, social media. So it's a great opportunity. So we're seeing that rates are giving buyers more purchasing power, and it's the perfect time to help them move. So if you have any pre-approvals that have been approved for, 3 months ago, it's definitely a great time to kind of talk to your lender and have them reapprove them with the lower interest rate, because it will give them a lower payment and a higher purchasing power. So I kind of wanted to go over the rates just a little bit so you guys could have an idea, because honestly, that's the first question that every client will ask you. How are the rates looking, right? So right now for a 30-year fixed conventional, you're looking around 6.15%. Now, of course, these interest rates are all based on credit score, how much down payment. So to get an actual rate, you would have to have them sit down with a lender, because it varies from person to person. It's not a standard rate. Then we have 30-year FHA, which is the most common one. It's 5.70. We have the jumbo, 6.38%. And we have the VA 5.72. So these are great interest rates from where we were at in the beginning of the year. So these numbers are a fantastic opportunity to just re-engage your clients, especially with the significant drops in the fixed rate loans, right? So these rate drops mean real savings, and like I said, more buying power for your clients to afford more home and reduce their monthly payments. So it's a great time to get them to call them. It's a moment for them to take advantage before the rates shift again. So, and then Mark did bring this up. They are going to drop again, probably next year, maybe in January. That's what they're estimating. So, one thing I do want you to all keep in mind, though, is that when lenders quote lower interest rate, it's very crucial to ask about discount points or the APR, because you need to know, is the client's going to get a cost for that lower rate, or is it at no cost? So what I do for my clients, I always give them a loan cost breakdown, so they know how much they're paying, if they're paying any discount points, and how much is their cash to close, because that can make or break your deal. I have heard a lot of horror stories from a lot of lenders where the clients walk out when they're signing because they turn out they're paying 1 or 2 discount points, which is a lot of money, right? So it's just very, we have to make sure that we know how much the client is getting charged. The client is aware. So basically that won't be a roadblock at the end when they're signing, right? So it's very important. So reach out to all of your clients today. Let them know that these rate drops create an ideal window for them to just lock in something beneficial that they're gonna, they can create generational wealth. So whether they're first-time home buyers or they're upgrading, this is a perfect opportunity to capitalize on these rates. So together we're helping people, to make smart financial decisions, which is great that you created this meeting, Gabe, and we got all of us together because we need to all work together to help everybody, and we need to be like a beacon for everybody, to be able to get this knowledge and for them to be more prepared and for it to be smoother and get all these clients and, to help everybody, because that's what we're here. Our number one reason is to help the clients, to make sure that, one, they're not getting scammed with high discount points, that they're getting the best house possible, because that is very important. And for me, like, I would rather give half of my compensation if the client doesn't have enough money to get the loan through, right? That's kind of how my thinking is, because I've been there. I know a lot of families have been there, and sometimes they don't have any money. So that's what we're here to help them. And I think our number one reason, as far as for me, is to help every client and to make sure that they're happy and they weren't taken advantage of. So yeah, this is pretty much my interest rates. So thank you.
I love that. And Rosalind, is it true that today's your birthday?
It is.
Oh, happy birthday.
Birthday.
So it's a happy birthday. If you guys can all open the mic before we transition to the next speaker, let's open our mic and let's sing happy birthday to one of our trusted, effective, leading from the front, servant-driven leader, Miss Rosalind. So on the count of 3, top of our lungs, I want us all to sing happy birthday to Miss Rosalind. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rosalind. Happy birthday to you. Miss Rosalind, happy birthday. You have so much love. And you look at the chat, people love you because you lead from the front. And I'll be honest, since I've met you, you've been the same person in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, summer, winter, it doesn't matter the season. no one ever knows because you always show up with the biggest heart in the world. So thank you for your leadership and your friendship.
Oh, thank you me so much. You're gonna make me cry.
Nice.
Amazing. I love the team. This is so great, man. I'm about to cry too. Wow. Okay. Moving on. Over here to my friend, Erwin. Erwin, let's talk about some mindset stuff, man.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you again. Guys, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. I hope to one day meet all of you in person. So let me start off by saying one thing, guys. You know, it is okay while serving and helping people that you serve and helping them to achieve better. It's okay to make a healthy and high income, okay? As long as you're doing it with integrity and doing the right thing by folks, right? So I want you to remember that it's okay to make a lot of money while you're helping people, right? So the first thing is I will talk about when it comes to your business, there's going to be two phases you're going to go through in your business, right? It's going to be hard, it's going to be easy, right? Okay. In a solid business, in a business that is going to transcend the markets and such, your business is hard early and then it becomes easy later. Would you agree, Gabe?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that was good. So what happens, you put a lot of work early and then you build a referral business later, which makes your business much easier, getting much more referrals, right? What I see a lot of the clients do is they tend to take it easier early because really no one's watching them, and their business tends to be hard for a much longer time as they progress because the work was never put in early to establish your referral pipeline, guys. So think about that. Where do you want to be? Do you want it hard now for a few years and easy for the majority of your career? Or do you want to just kind of be lackadaisical and always have this hard business that's always struggling during the ups and downs of the marketplace? Okay, that's the first thing. The second things I talk about with a lot of my clients is every human is predictable, right? We have a behavior paradigm, okay? And this is the paradigm. You have choices, you have decision, and you have action. Again, you have choices, you have decision, and you have action. So the example would be this. I have a choice, either prospect today or I'm going to surf social media, right? Okay. And then you make that decision which way to do, right? And then you take that action. But here's the thing. Typically, when I see my clients not taking making the right decisions to prospect, to make phone calls, to do follow-up, to make hard, difficult decisions to really put themselves out there, it's because there's an underlying fear that exists. So I ask you this question. All of you need to think about this when you finish up today and you know you're supposed to be prospecting, you know you're supposed to be following up, you know you need to put yourself out there and talk and meet more people. Why aren't you doing it? What's underneath? Okay, what fear? Okay, because if you don't address that and seek help, then you will forever be challenged by prospecting and follow-up, and you'll forever have a business that will continue to be hard from now until you finish up. So if you have those type of challenges, reach out to Gabe, to Mark, myself, to Rosalind. I mean, being in business a long time, I myself had to go through those same challenges in my own career in sales, right? And it wasn't until I had the epiphany of understanding that I have underlying fields that may have existed prior to getting in the business, or maybe some things that occurred while making prospecting calls or follow-up that have hindered my growth. So once we uncover that and we deal with that, you will see a tremendous skyrocket in your growth and your success. Any thoughts?
I love what you just said right now, Erwin. I just took some notes down, and it reminded me of an idea. So as real estate professionals, a couple of key notes. This is what we should be doing every single day. And Erwin, if there's something I need to delete or add, let me know. But from what I took away from the conversation, every day as real estate professionals, this needs to be in your calendar. Every day you should be prospecting. Every day you should be following up. Every day you should be going on appointments. And every day you should be negotiating contracts. That is your business. Every day prospecting, following up, going on appointments, negotiating contracts. Erwin, do you agree with that?
I completely agree. Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Something I
T,
can add,
Go ahead.
real quick. Something that helped me early on, because prior to getting into real estate, I've worked as an oil broker, and then I worked in a couple other different high-level sales positions. All of the top salespeople in those fields, all of them worked off of 45-15 blocks, meaning they would do a task uninterrupted 45 minutes, take 15 minutes off, then go back 45 minutes, because after about 40 to 45 minutes, your brain loses concentration and then it loses its efficiency. So if you're doing something for 3 hours, of that time, 3 hours, only the first 45 minutes is truly the most impactful. The other time, you're kind of just going through the motions. Take the 45, take a 15-minute break, walk, go to the bathroom, do whatever it is you got to do, come back, hit it hard for 15 minutes. If you do that 6 times throughout the day, that's how you get, or sorry, 8 times, you get 6 hours of uninterrupted work, and you get 2 hours to do whatever it is that you need to do on the side. So that would be my one tip for y'all if you haven't already been doing that or unfamiliar with it.
That's effective. I love that. I love that. I think that, Mark, on that note, I want to add to that. I learned that from some YouTube video I was watching, how to become a more effective like student and how to study and how to be more productive. And they said that, and there was one instructor. He said that I think it was at the 40 or 45 minute mark. You should take a 5-minute break and do something fun, and it'll shoot your productivity back up to like the 90-100 percentile where you were when you first started the task. And when you go back into it, you're back at that 90th percentile. So said differently is, when you're feeling motivated to do something, do it for 45 minutes, take a 5-minute break, go do something fun. Go play a video game, go play Angry Birds on your phone, or go pick up your dog or your cat, do something fun for 5 minutes. Get back into the routine of 45 minutes working again, and your productivity will be at that 90th, 100 percentile like you did when you first started. It's pretty good. It's a good stat, Mark. I love that. I think we got some stuff on the chat. It's just a bunch of birthday love from Miss Roslyn. I love it. Erwin, do you have anything else for us, brother, before we transition out?
You know, one task I have a group that I'm coaching for our all-star competition for the office, and one of the things I told them is, if you want to do something really to challenge yourself today, go to your old open house leads, right? And I know all you have either, a database or sign-in books or notes or whatever, right? And these are people that maybe you got information, right? Contact information. And maybe the first few calls you got ghosted, and you just you keep them, but nothing's really happened. I would say go through them all, right? Just reach out. And there's 2 things are going to happen. Basically, you're going to call them and just say, hey, I met you at 123 Alpha Street. Just wonder if you're still looking to become a homeowner, right? If they said they already purchased, then ask, hey, congratulations. Just quick question, just to improve my service. How did you decide to choose or use that other agent, right? This gives you the opportunity to find if there's some aspects of your skill set that maybe you need to improve. Maybe there's something that this agent did that really was like a kind of aha moment for you. But on the other hand, there could be a situation where they had a very terrible experience, right? Now, there's an opportunity to adopt this client, because there's a high likelihood that they may sell in the future, right? And now you understand what you're not supposed to do based on the feedback that you got from the particular client, right? And on the other hand, there might be people who maybe they ghosted you because there was a situation that came up that was unavoidable, and they halted that process to move forward, right? So those things may have passed, and they might be back on track. So the great opportunity to go check it out. And my thing is simply this: is you don't want to keep all these names just kind of lingering in this mist around you. You need to clear up and figure out: do I keep them? Do I toss them? Or do I now adopt them, right? And this would be a great exercise for you to do, to kind of go through all these old leads that you have that you've been sitting there and you're wondering on your desk, what do I do with these? Go through them.
And Erwin, so we
Yes,
started
sir.
working together back in 2018 when I first got licensed, and I still have every single open house sign-in sheet from the first 3 years of my real estate business. 221 open houses held for the first 3 years. And I'll still go through, pick up a sheet randomly, call and see which numbers are good and add them to my database. Because for me personally, until it's a verified phone number, verified email, and I've spoken with them, I'm not putting it in my database because then it just clouds it up. So I still keep my receipts to show to all the new agents, like, this is the work you got to do in order to be a top producer.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, this is great. I love this. I'm getting fired up just by listening to you guys mastermind and talk about top producer tactics. I mean, Erwin, having you go on there and Mark and just hearing you piggyback off of it, I feel like I'm back in like the lion's den when I first started, and it's like smile or dial. Let's get out there. Let's rock and roll. The energy is contagious. So, Erwin, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you for hopping on, sharing that with us on that note.
Thank you.
So, team, I want to wrap us up and bring us on with a few key points. Number one, if you guys can please drop it in the chat. Let's thank the leadership team. Thank Mark, thank Rosalind, thank Erwin for coming on here and sharing just some of the wisdom that they have about the market, where we're at economically, where we're at with interest rates, and some good habits that we should be implementing into the business. So please drop it in the chat and thank them for jumping on a short notice and making this call happen for you. But before we let you go, I want to talk to you about something. It's about protecting the most important file in your entire life. I'm going to spend about 3 minutes on this. So just give me your focus and your intention. If you guys can do me a big favor, bring your intention here to the call and bring your attention to the call. Wrap up that text message, wrap up that email, wrap up that phone call. I want your intention to learn something, and I want the attention on the call for a second. Now that I have you all here, I'm going to ask you a very important question. How many of you, drop it in the chat, have this device, a cell phone, secured by a passcode? How many of you have this phone, this device, drop it in the chat, have it secured by a passcode? Meaning you can't access it unless it reads your face, or you have to put your fingerprint on there, or you have to type in some sort of passcode. Drop it in the chat. I see some of you, not all of you, so we know which phones we're going to be breaking into. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for your feedback on that, team. Second question for you. How many of you lock your car, you lock your home, you lock your computer when you leave? How many of you lock your car and your home when you leave? Drop it in the chat. How many of you secure your car and secure your home whenever you park it somewhere, whenever you leave your home? How many of you secure it? Drop it in the chat. Some of us secure it. Now, this question I'm going to ask you next might sound a little random or out there, but it's a genuine question. If someone were to go into your home and they would break into your home. Let's just say it's a friend of yours. I want you to think of a friend right now. Think of a friend that you have, a really close friend. Now, I want you to think about that friend. And what if they broke into your home and they decided just to take a massive poop all over your house, and a massive poop all over your car, and a massive poop all over your phone? How many of you guys out there would be just a little bit agitated if your best friend pooped in your car, pooped in your home, and pooped on your phone? How many of you guys would be out there just be a little agitated? Like, scratch your head like, really, bro? Why'd you do this? How many of you guys would be upset if someone did that to you? Drop it in the chat. Here's where I'm going with it. See, as human beings, the most important file that we have in our life are not the files that we hold on our phone. It's not the documents and the electronics and the money and the jewelry and clothes that we keep in our home. It's not that $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 car that we drive. Yet we protect it like it is. Everything's passcoded protected. Facial recognition protected. You have a key for this and a key for that. But the number one file that you should be protecting out of everything are the 6 inches between your ear. Do you want to know how to establish belief? Confidence? The way that we establish all of this is like a filing cabinet. We call them references. Some of you out there think about yourself as a real estate professional and you're like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I don't speak well. I sound weird on camera. I look weird on camera. I don't like door knocking. You have all these conversations with yourself, and the most important files that you have in your life, you're pooping all over them. Worst of all, you let other people poop all over them. How do you protect them? How do you build? How do you change your references? How do you change your belief? How do we, as real estate professionals, if I want you to go out there and knock on doors and make content on social media, if I want you to go out there and host these open houses, what do we have to do to make sure that you go out there and that you take action? Well, before action can even be taken, you have to have belief that you can do it. But how do you create belief? Watch, I'll prove it to you that belief is the end all be all. All right. You have countries out there. You have countries out there that will wage war against each other because of different beliefs. You have people out there who will ruin friendships and family relationships because of different political beliefs. You see, beliefs are so strong because when a person believes something, they take action. The problem with you isn't that you don't look good on camera, that you don't sound good on camera. The problem is that you don't believe you do. The problem is that you can't door knock or you can't convert and you can't close. The problem is that you don't believe you can. So if we know that belief is the end all be all and the start of everything, the question is, how do we alter our belief? How do we alter the one thing that determines everything? If you have countries that will go to war because of different beliefs, if you have family and friendships that will be ruined over political beliefs, broken apart, then the question becomes, how do we change our beliefs? I'm glad you asked. See, your brain is like a filing cabinet. And every single time there's a reference out there, it stores it. I'll give you an example. Let's just use a random name. Hopefully no one in the call's name is Stu. Well, let's just say there's Stu out there. And let's just say I meet Stu for the very first time, and I'm at an event, I'm at a Realty of America event, and I bump into some guy named Stu. And he gives me a shoulder. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. And Stu looks at me and flips me off. My brain automatically opens up my filing cabinet. It creates a folder for this guy named Stu, puts it inside of the filing cabinet, and there's one reference point that says Stu's a jerk. Closes the folder, close the filing cabinet, one reference point, Stu's a jerk. Second time I meet Stu, we're at lunch. And maybe he was having a bad day that first time. I walk by, I smile at Stu, and I'm like, hey, Stu, how's it going out there? And Stu gives me a dirty look, and he looks away, and he walks away. My brain opens a filing cabinet, pulls out the Stu folder, opens it up, and my second reference goes in. Stu's a jerk. Now, the third time I see Stu, I look at him, and now I'm a little weary. I don't want to get close to him. I don't want to get any closer to Steve because I have two reference points that say Stu's a jerk. So now I walk up to him one more time, and I go and extend to shake my hand. He looks at my hand, and he walks away, and I go, oh, my gosh, this guy Stu's a jerk. I never want to talk to Stu ever again. Your brain does this for everything in your life. It does this for positive experiences, bad experiences, good people, bad people, your parents, your friends, business, real estate. It does it for everything. And you cannot control consciously up until today, cannot control what kind of references you're developing. So if you want to have a better outlook at Stu, change the references. Change the references that you're having. How many of you out there you focus on, you think about door knocking, you've knocked on it one time, no one answered, you got cussed out. One reference point inside there, door knocking sucks. I made one post on social media, open up the folder, one reference is there, no one called me to sell or buy a house. One reference point, close the filing cabinet. Reference points, reference and references. And what ends up happening is that you build a belief through your references, and it affects your ability to take action, and therefore it affects what you get in life. If you want to change what you get, you have to change what you do. And if you want to change what you do, you have to change what you believe. And if you want to change what you can believe, you have to change your reference point. Ladies and gentlemen, you're part of the winner's circle. Circle of winners, where all of us are winning at a high level. You have team leaders, you have motivators, you have all these top producers that are across the country that are winning at high levels. Lean into the leadership, lean into the calls. How do I take the most effective strategies that Gabe is doing on social media, that Rosalind is doing with her team? I mean, look at the outpour that Rosalind received on the comment section for her birthday. That is a leader that I would be wanting to attach myself to say, if I'm a team leader, what are you doing right that is getting such an overwhelming response from your team and your followers that love you so much? What are you doing? And I would then rebuild my references. Oh, okay, I see that she takes her time. Oh, she's willing to give her commission. Reference point, reference point, reference point. And now you start to build your belief that you are a stronger leader. Gabe, I'm not doing well at door knocking. Maybe your references are bad. Maybe you had a bad reference. Come here. Let me show you how to make a cold call. Let me show you how to make a door knock. And then we convert. And then now your reference points start to change. It's just a matter of references. Folks, change the music that you're listening to. Change the environment that you're in. Go out for a walk. Change the way that you dress. Clean your car. Clean your room. Clean your home. Feel better about yourself so that you begin to have this feeling of hope on the inside. And then from there, go seek these references that are out there. We can easily change what you get by changing what you do, by changing how you believe, by changing the reference points that surround it. Gabe, I listen to music every single morning. Stop that crap. Moving forward, you're listening to objection handling, script practicing. You're listening to mindset, motivational things that will shift the mindset on the inside. Because when we change what you think, we change what you do, we change what you get, and then ultimately you have a better life, and that's how we do it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're part of the winner's circle for a reason. You all now have the ability to change what you have. And you change what you have by changing what you do. And the only way that you'll actually do something is when you believe you can do it. And the way that you believe you can do something are by changing the references in your life. So if you guys are struggling with anything, if you need support with anything, make sure to reach out to one of the leaders on the phone call today. Join the Winner's Circle Wednesday call that we have every single Wednesday at now 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We talk about one skill set and we go deep on that skill set. And with Realty of America, our new company, which I'm so excited about, we are going to have training from the best of the best across the country, with our CEO and president leading from the front in high levels of production. So with that said, team, tomorrow we have a phone call at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Excuse me, tomorrow at, I think it's 1 o'clock, is it, Mark? For the social media class?
1 p.m. social media training, and then I will get the Zoom link out to everybody.
1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow for the social media training, and then 9 a.m. Wednesday for the Pacific Standard Time for the Winner's Circle Wednesday training with that. Team, the choice is yours. Go out there, be brave, be bold, take action. You are a top producer. You are healthy. You are intelligent. You are worthy. You do have the drive on the inside, the skill set to pull it off, and now you have the team to support you. Love you guys. God bless you guys. We'll see you guys on the next call. Thank you for being on here today.